And we are live. Hello, everybody. I will adjust Rohan's frame while everybody in the league gives me a nice little hello.
Again, I adjust again.
No. I'll just adjust your frame from here. Don't worry.
Okay.
Our
Oh,
outies are
oh,
live, but our innies are stuck at home.
yes,
I hope
indeed.
to God that you can see this. Um, All right, good evening. Hello, can you guys, if you can hear us, please, if you can hear, yes, we can. Sound is working absolutely good, along with a little scratch I did to my mustache. Welcome, everybody, to everybody who's watching. Welcome back to another episode of Binge-O-Clock.
Oh, yeah, we did it.
We did it,
We
we
have
did it, we
done
did
it.
it.
Another episode.
Like we said,
Our
we will be inconsistent, but we will be consistent with quality. That is
oh
the
ho ho oh. Are we though? Are we? Are we
Hey, I would
really?
say we have some quality, okay? I would
Okay,
say
we
we
have
have like
some quality. We have some quality.
8% quality. We are 97% quality. The 3% of quality still has to be completed by Marquez. So until Marquez
Correct.
completes it, we can't be 100%
That's
quality.
it. 100%. Binge Harbor has to
But
be
binge,
completed.
yes, exactly.
Binge Harbor has to be completed.
Welcome, friends. Welcome, everybody. This is a highly requested stream. A lot of people have messaged. I don't have the message like if you got messages or not, but like
Yes, I have.
just non-stop saying please talk, please talk, please talk, and we will obviously talk about the show. We will talk about everything. Quick before we begin, to everybody who's joining, welcome. To everybody who's listening, yes, these episodes are being uploaded online. If you're listening to it, hello.
Oh,
And
hello.
hello, thank you.
How are you?
Very, very good. Thank you so
Oh my
much.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And to the rest of you, welcome to the stream. You know the gist. It's pretty simple. 3 things you need to do. Number 1, press like. Number 2, chat as
Yes,
much
that
as you
is most
can.
important.
Yeah, chat as much as you can. You guys are the league. Everything that you say, we are reading. We will respond to it. So chat as much as you can. Let's bring up the conversation. And last but not the least, take this link, send it to everyone you know in your contact list. Tell them we are discussing Severance. And if you don't join right now, I will sever you from my life. Do that right now, and we are good to go.
Fantastic.
Quick look
Well
at,
done with all the hygiene. Well done.
now, Abhi, now
You
I think
deserve
it's.
a waffle party.
Oh, thank you so much.
You
I was going
deserve
to
a
set up
waffle
the
party,
lights at the
sir.
back for,
You should totally, at the
but
very least, an MDE, but I think a waffle
yeah,
party.
but my lights department unfortunately were permanently severed. So
Oh my God. Were they
they,
busy? Were they busy performing choreography and everything?
yeah, that's the
Is that what
problem.
happened?
They got stuck in choreography. Okay, before we start, I'm going to give a quick update. There are going to be spoilers for season 2. Season 2 finished. Why do you have a matcha racket for that?
Because I have machar. I saw machar in this room, so now I have a machar racket.
So, okay, so there are going
Sorry.
to be spoilers for season 2. Season 2 wrapped up last Friday, so if you haven't seen it yet, then you can just watch the episode and then eventually join the stream. With that out of the way, let us go. Severance season
Yes,
2.
we are going to the severed floor right now. So if you
So,
want to leave, this is the time to leave.
so it's almost like whatever.
Ping.
And yeah, and yeah, now we are officially severed. We are not. What happened?
Ooh, what? Where are we? What is this?
What?
Is this?
Why?
Are you Sahil S?
Are you Rohan J?
I am Rohan J.
Oh, hey, nice
Oh
to
my
meet
God.
you.
Do you watch Severance?
Severance, what's that?
It's this amazing show
Uh huh.
which basically appears once every 3 years.
Uh huh.
And then for 10 weeks, it just absolutely wrecks your brain.
Okay.
It turns it into liquefied soup, which then comes out of your ears and your nostrils and pours down into your own throat. And it is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Like 100%. Like it is better than a waffle party, the other previous high of my life. And you know what? I've seen a lot. I have been to the tallest waterfall in the world.
You
And I'm
have.
telling you, I have. I have been to the tallest waterfall in the world. And I'm telling you right now that it is just outstanding. I would highly recommend you watch Severance.
I will definitely watch it. I remember a few weeks ago I had spoken to another fellow inni on the floor and he referred to me as a fetid moppet, but it's fine. I did
You
not know
do have
what
a
that.
fetid moppet vibe. It's
I,
true.
I, I do. I
I
do.
hope you told him to devour feculence, though.
Straight up, right to his face. Straight up, devour
Hard
feculence.
bars.
No more.
Hard
I
bars.
told him I'm done. I'm enough is enough. So, what did you think of the show overall, what was your thought on season 2 of this miraculous show that we are discussing?
I loved it. I loved that right out the gate, they did not screw around. I know that there were a lot of people whose thought was like, oh, I wish we'd just gotten to see them do like more macro data refining and just like severed office living. But I actually like that the show just full on, like, just went ahead with its plot. And was the thing is, right? This is one of those shows where, again, after a long time, you've got a week on week drop where people are sitting and micro analyzing
Yeah.
every detail to that whole thing of why was the cup like this and this symbolizes this, etc.
To the
But
credits.
the credits, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah, the
credits have
credits, right? You can
everything.
sit
If you,
exactly,
I'm pausing and I'm like, oh, what does balloons have to do? What does
exactly, like all of those things,
everything's
right?
there?
And even with that happening, I feel like they consistently delivered a show that was surprising, that had twists that we didn't see coming, and that's just in the twist department, but also filled out a lot of great sort of character moments and just zigged in a lot of places where you would have expected most shows to sort of zag. The great thing was that at every turn, I can confidently say, I thought I knew what was coming, and then something else happened entirely. I was not expecting them to go with like reintegration by episode three. Just episode one and two being like mirrors of each other, seen from two sides of the elevator, basically, also incredible. Then, of course, that fucking Ortbo episode, dude, Woe's Hollow. Like, what do you even say about that episode? Just, I think, what an iconic hour of TV. Straight up, while we're on that subject, John Turturro, incredible, magnificent, standout performance. Yeah, and then you come, and then that insane episode with that wild dinner party with Bert and Irving and Fields, where again people are like analyzing it and all like, oh, I bet this is some big scam on Irving,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
And then it then becomes just the saddest thing in the ninth episode. Like full Titanic scenes happen, and like you're just extremely sad for both of them. And then that finale, of course, that absolutely astonishing 75 minutes of frolic, malice, woe, and dread. 100% enjoyed. Like, again, we said this before, but like, the phrase, every frame a painting. Severance is every frame a painting. And that last shot, that last episode, like, I think that last episode only, there must have been 10 separate times where I was laughing out loud, 10 separate times where I was in panic, 10 separate times where I was just sad and like ready to cry. Um, Man, incredible. I actually disagree with Himanshu, who says we could have done without the Cobell episode. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I enjoyed it. I think it filled in. A, it gave us straight up one of the biggest twists of the show. B, I think it filled in so much about actually what Lumen does and what they've done historically. It wasn't just, I don't even think it was just the Cobell episode. That felt like the Lumen episode, actually, where you learn a lot about what the Egans and Lumen are like, actually.
Yeah, and
So,
again, I have spent my entirety of the past 10 weeks on Reddit going through every single theory that exists. Now, the Cobell episode, while on one hand,
Pikai Bardo was, of course, yes, like just straight up
which
greatest
one?
hour of
Yeah,
TV
yeah,
type.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Gemma episode.
Yeah. That listen, we okay. What we'll do is I think we should just cover episode by episode. I
Yeah,
think that will
okay.
make more sense because there's
Fair.
we'll keep jumping from topic to topic. So we'll start with the first episode. The first episode, Mark comes back to the severed floor. He runs across one of the greatest shots in television history. If you look at the behind the scenes, the walls they were CGI'd. Then they used the bolt arm, which is one. It's just if you look at the
Incredible.
behind the scenes of that running sequence to know the cameraman, the placement.
Also, just hold that thought when we talk about the last shot of the season, also. We could talk about the first shot of the season, and then when we get to episode 10, we will talk about the last shot of
Of
the
course,
season.
of
So,
course. Coming in, meeting a brand new team, absolute shock. Mrs. Huang, introduction of Mrs. Huang.
Miss Huang, not Mrs. Huang.
Sorry,
Miss Huang.
Miss Huang.
Miss Huang.
Who,
Miss
by the
Huang.
way, is
And also
there
at the
because she
same
was
time,
born.
learning that Milchik is possibly wavering a little bit or is being put through a lot of feculence in his day-to-day job by people. That amazing, I remember, I think episode 1 had that amazing shot of, was it episode 1 or was it episode 2, which had that incredible shot of Helena just walking across the campus, going to meet Cobell in that conference room. at night, where she's just that long tracking shot of her walking,
I think it was the second episode.
where she's like, "You're afraid of me," and she's like, "We fear no one."
Oh,
Like, oh my God,
oh.
so good.
The first few episodes had some of
The first two episodes
like
are
just
literally like mirrors of each other. Like you see the same thing from different perspectives filled in and just spectacularly done.
insane cinematography, insane set design. The fact that if you really want to color pick is that the world above is dark and black, and the world below is white, and the world below
White,
that is black again, and the world below that is white.
just
It's
incredible.
ah,
Incredible.
it
Just
it,
absolutely incredible.
it irritates me. The show irritates me as to how good it is. It annoys me that you expect, like, you expect a show coming back after what, 3 years.
Are you looking at a mosquito? Are you
Yeah,
looking
even
at a
I'm looking at a
mosquito?
mosquito. Damn it. It's like
My
they came.
Amy, so killing mosquitoes is not mysterious but important.
It's like they came.
All the
It's like
same.
they
Yeah.
realized. But I'm saying we waited 3 years. Normally, when you wait 3 years, you kind of lose interest for a show. You're like, you know what, 3 years kind of sucks. But then when you do end up watching it, you're like, oh shit, I
And they did
I
like every
understand.
episode a banger. Like just banger. Heavy, heavy bangers.
Yeah.
Like just incredible. And then again, just setting up in those first two episodes, Dylan's dilemma, Irving's dilemma. I also remember when the first two episodes were happening about 8 weeks ago. Is it Helena? Is it Helly? Who is it? And then the way that pays off,
that reveal.
that
Oh.
reveal, right? But again, wait, episode 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So wait, are we good with
we'll
episode 1 and
yeah,
2?
Yeah, we'll finish with episode 1 and 2. League, please let us know. Episode 1 and 2. Are there any other standing points that stand out? I kind of felt bad that the new group disappeared very quickly, because I was
Yes.
like, oh shit, I just got to know them.
They bounced in
And
minutes.
then they bounced in minutes, and I'm like, where have they gone? Are they? What happens? Do
First
they,
episode also
like-
had that incredible joke about why they fired Cobell, saying that she was trying to be in a throuple with your innie and your outie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, starting to feel a bit like something Helena's doing, but never mind.
And obviously that beautiful line which which we've referred to again and again and again, like, why are you a child? Because
Because of when I was born.
when I was born. And I'm like, that's
Right.
what, it makes no sense. It's so random. It just
Oh man,
blows
that
you
HR
out.
video with the Lumen building
Oh,
and
yeah.
Keanu Reeves
And
as the
Keanu
voice
Reeves'
of Lumen.
voice.
Yeah.
And the Night Gardener.
And the Night Gardener.
came in. The
Yeah.
amount of times I've seen people put up photos of them gardening at night, saying, we are night gardeners. Yes, we exist.
We exist.
We exist. Night gardeners exist. Okay, it
The
is a
real thing.
known community. Okay, please don't say that.
Like-
So yeah, first, second episode, beautiful
Then-
build up.
And then incredible third episode where Mark is trying to burn his retinas in with the information.
Yeah.
And the whole episode we're like, oh, what a scheme he and Devin are coming up with.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I can't believe, I hope it works. And they make it genuinely tense. They have that whole scene where he's running
Yeah.
like from the car to the elevator to trying to time how long it takes. And then like at the halfway through the episode, Regabi appears and she's just like, were you trying to burn
Yeah.
this information to your retina? That's the dumbest idea
Like-
I've ever heard.
It
And I
was-
felt so called out because I was so invested in it.
I'll ask you a hypothetical question. Yes, sure. We've seen how they have a conversation through the camcorder, and we know that chits don't go through the flows. How would you, let's say hypothetically you were severed and your innie is there, how would you communicate with your innie? Like how would you communicate with your innie if not burning through retina or video cam?
I don't know. I would probably blind myself trying. But otherwise, how would you do it? I feel like camcorder chats are the only way to go.
No.
But you can't even take your phone up and down with you. Or then you Gajni style have to write it on your body.
Yeah, or you stitch it inside your suit maybe.
Or you stitch it inside your suit.
Something
Yeah.
physical, something that doesn't, like, I don't know how
Yeah.
the paper disappears. I don't know what they monitor. I don't know what happens, but maybe either you stitch it, like you said, or you tattoo it. You're right. Maybe you
Yeah.
can tattoo it. Because that's the only way the information can pass through as you said, tattoos and everything. When you sleep, when you're an innie, you can pass some information. No, that's what I'm trying to say. It's all what for all.
Yes,
you know.
Roma, that the voice of the Lumen building was in fact Keanu Reeves.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Then okay, so
And it's got that great sort of, yeah.
yeah,
And then it just sort of ends with, okay, fine, let's begin reintegration. And then that end of episode 3 that those shots are some of the most ludicrous things I think I've seen
Uh,
in a frame, where it's swapping between,
yeah.
it's like outside clothes, inni like interiors, then suddenly inside clothes outside, then suddenly inside clothes inside, then suddenly some clothes outside. Like, oh my God,
It
so much.
baffled me. Like,
So, and also the genius of then when he gets a go, whoa, like, first of all, then kicking in with the Who's Eminence front as the end credits music when it does start to happen
yeah,
is just incredible. Like, one of the greatest songs of all time.
yeah, yeah.
And then it's like directed by Ben Stiller. Bang, ding, 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 ding,
Bro,
ding, ding.
every ending episode music
Slam,
choice,
slam,
every
slam.
ending episode music choice slaps. The way that they have ended episode with line music,
Just,
whoever was shitting on Cobell's episode, I am so sorry, but the
oh yeah,
tell
ended with Firewoman, no?
me everything and music.
Just amazing. Also,
Goosebumsy.
also, please let's remember that that is the episode that has the other amazing line, "Come tame these tempers, asshole."
Listen,
Like,
I think this season has given us a whole line of merch. A whole line of merch. Okay, again, coming back, we will discuss all of these in
yes.
the overall theme. So
So
we've
that's
covered
episode
first,
three,
second episode, we've covered third episode. Oddbo
and
was,
then
Oddbo was the
Ortbo Woes Hollow, where I
yes.
sat down and Mark has just started reintegrating. I'm like, oh, so I guess we'll move ahead with this now. And suddenly, smash cut to John Turturro in the ice, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? And then they start walking, and then like, oh, there's lookalikes of us that are guiding us to this place. And then Mr. Milchick appears in like pristine white, and he's like, this is the tallest waterfall in the world. And you're just like, you're watching it, and then at night, that whole this thing happens, and there's that weird dream he has with like the ghost shit and typing thing. And there was a point where I'm just like, what is happening? Where has this show gone? Like, what? And there's Miss Huang playing the theremin and doing all sorts of things. And he's
Again,
like,
but
no, Marshall. And the Dieter Egan story, right?
yeah,
Like,
the coming in the
about
coming
essentially,
in the
yeah, like, and essentially how that was also one of the thoughts behind like Severance. Just utterly batshit, and then of course culminating in like just that fantastic episode ender of "She's an Egan" and "Do it, Seth,"
oh,
and
that
just that
smile,
moment. Oh my god!
that smile of
Oh my
that
god!
I've done it, I have solved it, I know it, I knew till that episode came. Every tiny twitch, every tiny detail was being analyzed. Was like, is it Helena? Is she spying on Heli? In fact, I think Nikun said that you had predicted it in in the first stream that we had done 3 years ago, that Helena would stream on Heli. So
Would
congratulations.
stream on Heli.
Sorry,
Would
not spy.
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 Would
Yeah.
spy.
Sorry,
Like,
that sounds very wrong. That
hey
sounds very
guys,
wrong.
it's Heli.
Sorry. Oh shit, I'm getting pissed on. No, sorry.
Right.
Would spy on Heli.
Yeah.
So praise Rohan.
Heli was never cruel. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that entire scene where just Helena realizes what the fuck have I gotten myself into.
But
Um,
I must say, Helena is next level. I don't know whether you say smart or horny. Like
no, I feel like Helena is such a great character, right? Like Helena,
like
not Heli.
not Heli.
Like in the
Helena.
sense that
What is the
Helena,
logic?
because you see that she's clearly like this essentially abused child.
Of course.
Like very, she's grown up abused. She obviously has like massive sort of issues with her father, etc. Uh, fucking James Egan just seems like the weirdest fucking guy
Yeah, it sounds very like
ever. Like he just seems like, oh my god. Like again, we will get to that episode when he's all like, oh, I wish you take it raw. What the fuck, man?
it was.
Who
Even,
says that?
it's very
Who the
weird.
fuck says yuck? All right. And then sort of the fact that she sort of through the season, she sees videos of Helly and Mark S sort of getting together, and she suddenly sees like Mark S sees something in Helly that she feels like no one would see in her. I think like where like there's a tenderness to Helly, etc. So which is why then with that again incredibly awkward scene that comes later on, where she meets Mark in the
Yeah,
diner,
in the cafe, and
right
she's
in the
like,
cafe,
oh hey,
and
hey, huh, hey.
yeah,
You don't
hey,
remember,
hi,
but
and
know
just
me.
like what the fuck
Tent.
is going on here? Just absolutely. But anyway, so that's episode 4. Episode 4. Sorry, episode 4.
No,
Episode 4.
I'm sorry. I'm laughing at H, whoever you are. What a great
Well, she
comment.
did it raw with Marquez. Fair.
She
Fair enough.
she did take it raw with Marcus.
Fair enough.
Oh
Fair
man, that's
enough.
great.
And
Yeah.
then all of that happens. And then they go back to the office. And then we have episode 5.
I'm going to ask you a quick counter question. What do the innies know? Like, at what point does the innie knowledge start and the innie knowledge end? Right. So, for as an innie, like,
Right.
what do
So
you-
obviously, like if you go with different parts of your brain, I feel like essentially, so obviously motor functions, etc., all of that gets through, right? Like all the stuff your body does subconsciously. Like for example, I imagine they are toilet trained. I imagine they know how to operate a computer. I imagine that when they see a computer, they know sort of what it is. But I'm guessing that like because like for example, she doesn't know what the equator is,
Yeah.
which we will again come to sort of later on. So I guess it's either like I guess some functions go through and some functions don't, or
like sex? How do you know? How do you know how to have sex? You know what I mean to say? Like,
I
is
mean
it-
I'm guessing that in the same way that you know how to pee and poop and like
yeah,
all of
so
those things. I
is
guess.
it like part knowledge that is imprinted, but like there's no what do you call it? General knowledge in terms of
Yeah,
the
I feel like
world and
yeah, I
events
feel
that you
like
don't
yeah, I
remember.
feel like any like sort of higher level memory doesn't like come through. Like your base OS is there. Like for example, everything runs on Windows. You get to keep Windows, but like you don't get like Zoom and shit maybe. So yeah,
Okay.
like
Okay.
yeah. I mean, or it's the classic. Like, what is Superman's power set? I don't know. What do you need this issue?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No.
I
of
think
course.
that's this thing of it.
And because like I was watching that episode and I was like, okay, look, I know Helena knows everything because she's got the outie skills. Mark has innie skills. Mark is a child. See, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Mark S is a child.
Yeah.
So as a child, you have limited skills, and there's a world like even if you look at entire season 1, like even when he's dancing, what is the dance? Does he know how to dance,
Yeah.
or is he doing it because he's excited and he's learning how to sort of move his body in that sort of way?
Yeah.
That's a very interesting perspective. Like I was watching the episode, I'm like, great, good, okay, sure, you know how to do it, but or love as an emotion, maybe it's instinctive where you're like, you know
I think
what,
love is
guess-
instinctive, right?
I
Like,
guess
yeah.
this is what we need to do. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But that Otbo episode, there are so many things that are just still unanswered. Where was it? What is that random cave? But I'm so middle class that when the cave came, my only thought was, इसका electrical wiring कैसे किया होगा?
किधर है?
You know, like
कहाँ
इसका
से आया?
Outlet, plug point का टीवी का वायर कहाँ पे है? स्पाइक गार्ड लगाया होगा किसी ने और वहां से
But you know
extension
that
cord-
shot that you see of like that Lumen office, like again in later episode, you see how close Lumen office is to the Lumen home, and that's also in like some wintry area. I think must have been like literally like 4 kilometers away.
Yeah, of course,
Like-
like close by forest. But
Yeah, it's just there only. It's
You
all part of the.
planned everything in a vagueness. Okay, fair. Okay, chal. Okay, I get it. You're an innie. You show up randomly. You don't know where the fuck you are. You shown up randomly in the middle of nowhere. Fine. Did no one want to question the body double? Did no one want to question like a body double standing and just pointing it? Did no one feel like
They did, right? They were like, what the fuck is going on? This is weird as fuck.
But then
That's why
that's-
Dylan's face the whole episode is just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, his is Dylan's the fuck face is.
Dylan, what the fuck face?
No, but I mean, if you were in a random place and you saw someone that looked like you, won't you want to approach that person or at least find out what the fuck is going on?
No, I would be terrified and stay as far away from that person as possible. Because imagine you wake up in the middle of nowhere and you suddenly see mirror you looking back at you. What does every horror movie you have ever seen tell you?
I mean, yes, Mirror Me wants to kill me, but in
Yes.
this sense, Mirror Me is giving me directions. Mirror Me is pointing to places.
But they get the directions after they see that video. They see that video first, and only then they start like trusting with it. They don't just start doing it.
like when they're near
So
the
first
cave,
they go up and watch the video.
Yeah, I get it. But when they're near the cave, there are 4 mirror them. I mean, those
Yeah.
mirrors come back also later on, but it felt very. And
That's the thing, right? It feels like a religious experience, right? And the idea is that at every turn, Lumen tries to offer like the innies, like the whole existence is supposed to feel almost religious, like in their fervor of it. This is the tallest waterfall in the world. This is where
Believe what we
essentially
tell you.
our Saint Kier came and did this.
Yeah.
This is where he slew Dieter. Like, no, it's a very mystical and religious like sort of vibe that is given very purposely by Lumen to the innies. Like is how I feel.
It is. It's. I mean, the whole indoctrination of a cult is there throughout the episodes, right? Throughout the seasons of Play Scare.
Yeah.
This is the photos. This is historical moments that you have to remember. Important moments that you must memorize. Everything that happened because of his vision and his planning. I mean, it is as culty as it gets, and I understand that you want to, sort of. It's like it's a newborn mind, right? That you want to imprint on with these thoughts. But that episode was very it was perplexing, because there were a lot of questions that I still didn't have answers to. Like I asked, where is this place? Is it like a hidden facility? Like a lot of people are postulating, it's like the X-Men training room, right? It's made up.
Mm-hmm.
It's fully virtual reality, or is it an actual place? Um,
I imagine it's an actual place.
yeah,
I
like,
imagine it's absolutely. I mean, first of all, like in virtual reality, how would he dunk her head in the water?
True.
Like, right? How would he dunk her head in the water? How would they actually feel cold, etc.? All of those things. I literally feel like it's somewhere 5 kilometers away,
true,
essentially.
true. And then Mr. Milchick's white outfit, that dazzling
That
white outfit.
just incredible. Just shows up like fucking Glinda from Wicked.
Just
Is utterly incredible.
just the greatest outfit choice. That man pulled off every outfit, but we will simp
Just-
over him. There was a 20-minute segment to simp. Lookalikes are the goats. No, I mean, we came to realize that the goats are just there for goats. The body
Goats are there
doubles
for goats.
were balloons. That is an interesting theory. Like those wacky
Like
baby
flappy
inflatable
guys,
balloons.
like flappy guys.
And very interesting theory. But
Uh-huh.
then in the later episodes, there are body doubles who are monitoring the computers from the other
Mhm.
side. So maybe it could be just those guys, but it's not fully explained. But Otbo is, I think, one of the biggest plot twist episodes I've seen in season 2. Him drowning her, and imagine Helly gaining consciousness in
Yeah.
cold water.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first time we've actually seen her all season.
And
Where
that face acting. I've
that's incredible.
That's a new thing I've learned recently. A lot
Face
of people
acting.
face acting.
Face acting.
Face
Face
acting.
acting. dude.
After
Face
adolescence,
acting.
also face acting.
Yes, face
or
acting.
White Lotus. Look at the face acting, dude. Brit's face acting. Oh,
She's
my
incredible.
God,
Like she is
that-
absolutely incredible, Brit
just
Lauer.
eyebrows, just tiny. Even when she's talking to Irving in the end, the tiny
The
shift
eyebrows,
of-
the way her body language changes every single time, like between Helena and Helly. Like Helly walks with this very determined, like shoulders squared type walk.
Yeah, yeah. And she has that bounce. The hair
Yeah.
is all there's a hair bounce. And yeah. Avik, by the way, thank you so much for joining. Just a quick thing. We are talking about Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. Jesse's
Correct.
asking which show are we talking about. So
Correct.
just to let you know that we are talking about Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. Coming back to Tarak Mehta. So we've covered Oddbo. And we will also do a survey with the league as to which is the best episode according to you. Okay. After Oddbo, I think we have the Gemma episode.
No. Before that, you have the whole conversation between Irving and Fields and Bert.
Oh, that dinner episode.
You have all of that. You have like Mark before the Gemma episode. You have Mark Regabi,
reintegrating.
Devin integrating, Devin meeting Regabi leaving. Basically, a lot of the actual plot mechanics moving forward.
I found
Mr. Drummond goes and checks out Irving's house while the dinner is happening. All of that stuff happens.
I found the
Gretchen
Bert
goes and sees Dylan.
Irving conversation to be somehow
What?
I didn't
Which
care
Bert
that
Irving
much. I don't know, the
conversation?
dinner conversation.
I
A lot
loved
of people
it.
I didn't I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
I loved it
I'm-
because there was
I'm not
just so
interested.
much going on over there in terms of like just the dynamics. Like Fields just appeared out of nowhere for one episode and was just such a great character. Like just so good.
I'm
Like
I'm trying to understand. I was trying to understand. Like I understand. Like
Milchick's
again,
performance review happened.
that came later.
Yeah,
That
no,
didn't come in that episode. Milchick's
that came
performance.
around 6 before Gemma.
Yeah. No, I think it was after Gemma.
Really?
Yeah.
No, because after Gemma was Cobell episode. Then was
And then was Milchick performance review.
no,
That was
Milchick
Devar
performance review was
Feculence
before
was
that.
literally last.
Devour Feculence is not in the same episode.
Hold on, Brooke. I will go.
Devour
through this.
Feculence is not in the same episode.
We'll go to season 2 episode list real quickly. Season 2, Hello Miss Cobell. Mark returns to work. We've done that. Who's Alive? We done. Woes Hollow. We covered. tensions emerge after the team suffered a loss.
Yeah.
That is the performance review after that. That is before the Irving conversation.
Yeah, there we
Before
go.
Attila happens. Oh, that
Yeah.
performance review was so funny.
Yeah, the performance
How much-
review was great.
How much is too much for
Yeah.
Mr. Milchick? How many words are too many words for
Exactly.
Mr. Milchick?
And also that whole this thing, like Yash said, have you heard the story of the Gruckshupen?
Yeah.
When the king goes out.
Yeah.
All of that.
It was. I love that episode. They just in general, it was a Milchick centered episode, and I want to know so much about that man. I want to know everything about that man. If I had a prequel, I wouldn't care about any of the characters. I'd care about Milchick. There's so much I need to know.
Bro.
There's so
Bro.
much I need to know.
Bro.
Dude, when he's standing, that scene, right? That's a fun visual effect, by the way. I think they've done it earlier in many movies, but they especially done it in Terminator, where basically it's not a mirror. So the back of his head is a different actor, and on the other side is Milchick. So the camera is actually zooming into Milchick, but you think, oh,
And it looks like a mirror.
very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Very, very, very cool.
His performance review, I laughed so hard at him using big words. I laughed at that is the dumbest criticism.
Like, that also just in a way sort of like just shows you like it's also a comment on like racism in a way, right? Racism and like managers. Like Drummond is clearly like, how dare you use big words
Yeah.
around me, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is why when he finally says devour feculence, and then that entire sentence is actually monosyllabic when he tells him, he's like, okay, if you want to hear it monosyllabically, then, you know, it's not my job what Mark does. It's yours. Like, that was great. Like, that was so well done.
That confrontation.
Yeah.
Face acting. Again, we are going to go with face acting. That face, it was so tense. His eyebrow, just one eyebrow is twitching. The lower lip, slight tremble. You can sense that he's like, should I? And it's something where we've all been in a place like this, right? Where you want to say something to someone, but you're like, it's not worth it.
Yep, exactly.
It's not worth it. Till you break. And then you say, eat shit. I stood up, man. I clapped. I was like, dude, you, sir, oh my God, you, sir, are just the greatest. Then we have the next episode. While we are coming to the next episode, Watermelon Irving and Dylan Art, you know what? Of all the departments that work in Lumen, you know, we met a lot of departments. I genuinely feel the art department, whoever is in the printing department, you know, where someone like...
That's what Bert worked for, right?
Yeah, the
That's
OND.
basically what OND, yeah. And also, yes, before we move on to like future episodes, the episode with the Milchick and Natalie moment, where she essentially gives him like race revised Kier images, and his entire expression is just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
Oh my God.
They didn't do that.
Thank you.
They didn't do that.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
You know, like, yeah.
Oh boy. What are you doing? Like, oof. And Natalie's face in that episode also, like in that scene where it's full, that scene is pure Get Out. Like pure Get Out.
She's got those eyes where she's got that white.
Yeah.
It is what it is, Mr. Milchick.
Just amazing.
Accept it.
Again, incredible face acting.
Which also brings me to the question then at that point of time, since we're discussing Natalie Milchick, again, theory that didn't get answered. Who's the board?
Who's the board?
Who is the board? Who do they talk to?
I don't know. Maybe it's like previous Egans. Consciousness of previous Egans.
Oh, who've been severed and are just chilling downstairs, like lying around in there, or just
maybe there is no board. Maybe it's like a religious thing where you just think they're speaking to you, but there's no such thing.
Oh, damn! Like just garbled volume that is like garbled stuff that is played at the end back at you.
And you just hear what you think you want to hear.
Very interesting. Okay, so yeah, if you guys, those who are watching, again, there are a lot of theories of things that are still not answered. So if you think you know the answer to who the board is, please let us know. Would love to
Yep.
read more about it. So we've got the episode.
And
Then we've got Mark with Heli, who's like, "Chalo, abhi." I want to understand how does it work. It's the same body. It's the same.
yes.
It's the same conversation with Dylan and his wife, right? Like when he gets angry because
Yeah.
she has technically
Yeah,
cheated
but
on
it's a
him.
different person because you have no like memory of this at all. Like,
So if you are in that, Severance is a great way to just get hypothetical conversations, right? To
right?
ask people, like if you were in that place, if you were in Dylan's place, or if you were in Heli's place. Okay, let's start with Heli. If you were in Heli's place, would you feel that technically, I mean, I'm not mincing my words, but you have been molested, right? Your body
Yeah,
was
of
used,
course.
but you
That's the
have no
entire.
memory.
That's why she feels so violated, right? That's
Yeah.
the whole thing. That is why she's so infuriated by the whole thing. Like when it happens, because essentially it was a violation. Like on multiple levels. One, it was Helena pretending to be her. B, it was Helena pretending to be her to get with the man that she loves and has feelings for, and then using her body in that way. It's basically sexual assault.
It is, right? It is.
Of course it is. That's
But
why she's so furious.
it's your body. You know what I
It's
mean to
not
say?
her body though. It's not her body though. It's not. Okay, let me put it this way. If I drug you and you pass out, is it still your body? I'm
No,
having
it's
your body,
not.
not you as a person, right?
Yeah.
Then, like,
Got it. No, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying, like, in
yeah,
terms
yeah.
of
No, no,
in
it
terms of the
absolutely
entire
is.
conversation, right? If this were to, like, when that happened, I was like, okay, if this were to happen to me, would what would I feel? I would, of course, feel the same this thing that I have. It's almost like, it's like you said,
Like,
right?
also look at it from Dylan's perspective, right? Like, the idea is it's almost this horror of realizing that it's not even about my body, etc., whatever. My wife just genuinely likes that other person who's in my body so much more than the person. It's the same, again, like you're saying, it's the same body.
Yeah.
But clearly,
The
your
personality.
personality also lends a certain this thing to your body and who you are, right? Like in that, again, we'll come to that last episode with that beautiful letter, sort of, that he writes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why, like, I think it's not just body. The other way of looking at it is like, I guess when you're essentially also having sex with a consciousness, right? Which is also where, like, essentially consent, with the idea that I am not just my body, my brain, my mind, my personality is giving you consent to do things upon my body, my personality upon my body. Now it's your personality upon my. It's just whole, yeah.
Yeah, it opens
And
up
that
a
is why the
can
show
of
is such a
worms.
mindfuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a very
that is why
weird
it's such
can
a
of
mindfuck.
worms. You know, like when I kept on thinking, I was like, would I be? Of course, I think maybe I would be offended because you're kind of hugging and kissing.
Dude, come
But
on, look at it this way. If your wife came home and told you that she had the best date of her life with you 2 hours ago, and she can't stop laughing and smiling, but you have no memory of it, you did not participate in it, you cannot understand or share in her happiness because you have no idea how it came about, or say you have not been able to do it for the last many number of months. You're telling me that would not in any way fuck you over, like,
oh
or
no, it
fuck you
would.
up a little
It
bit? Yeah.
again. I'm saying it would 100%. I'm just saying I'm like putting myself in that situation, and I'm just wondering, right? It's a perplexing ethical argument, right? At the end of the day, yes, it is your body. It is two different personalities,
I don't
but
think it's
technically,
perplexing in this.
it
I
is
don't
still
think so.
your
Like, okay, let me
personality,
put
a
it this
variation
way.
of your personality.
No, like, let me put it this way. It to take it another way. If a demon possessed your body and did things with it, and you were not aware of it, you'd still. It's not like, oh, it's your body. Somebody else entered your body and did something, right? Like, you had absolutely no essentially power to consent, plain and simple.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah. And like it's basically like Helly says, and again, you come back to the last episode, but she sums it up beautifully, is that they give us half a life and expect us not to fight for it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, no, it's
that's,
true.
yeah.
It's the entire show has made me literally. It's in a very hypothetical question, like situation of if I were to do something like that, would I do it, and what are the repercussions? And like every episode, I'm like, oh, very weird, like imagining
Yeah,
this
of course.
situation. Okay, We'll go to the next episode. We've covered this. We've covered these ethical quandaries. I love the calling Attila the Hun. That is one of the greatest
Yeah,
puns
yeah.
ever.
Outstanding.
I would love, like,
Utterly outstanding.
what a great this thing. The best episode of all time after that is Chikai Bardo.
Kai Bardo, oh my God.
Ah,
Again, an incredible time to point out that it is the first directorial credit
Yeah.
for Jessica Lee
Yeah.
Gagne, if that is how you pronounce her last name. And it is, Jesus Christ, what an episode. Like, just technically, visually, then emotionally, on every level. Like, every person just brings their A plus 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 game. It broke my brain to find out that shot of the going through the computer and the wires is
It's
a
real.
practical shot.
It's a practical shot.
and
It's not
a
CGI.
VFX shot.
Yeah.
And like while describing it, she calls it like one of the longest side projects that they had going on, like where it was something that they were trying to figure out throughout. The film grain that they put in so many of those things, especially in Gemma shots. Man, all those bits where she's like those horrific things of like with Dr. Mauer where she's like, it's always Christmas, or that one innie who is always going to the dentist, or like just you've literally had up until this point 16 episodes, like leading up to this point you've had 16 episodes that are focused on all of these other people, and you are essentially just the thought, and in one episode suddenly they make us care so much.
Yeah, I didn't care.
Like for Gemma, like
I
for the
didn't-
first time you see sun, right? Like that's the other beautiful thing. It's the first time you see it's a sunny day. There
Yeah.
isn't snow. There's like all of these things like going on. It's quite incredible.
That
Like,
was
that
one
episode
of-
is just, oh my God.
One of the episodes where I realized that, you know what, as much as I have been thinking what's been happening to Mark, Dylan, Irving, Helly, it's wrong. Holy fuck, this is evil, okay?
Like the single
Holy
most
fuck.
satisfying thing is when she uses that chair to
Smack him.
like, yeah, you see that, guys? There are correct ways to throw a chair sometimes at places. And it doesn't necessarily involve disrupting a comedy show for no reason. You fucking vandal shitbirds. Like, if Shiv Sainik were a DC villain, they would be Vandal Savage. Because they are both.
I like it. Just going, your
They
outie
are
vandalizes
vandals
comedy
and they are
clubs for pleasure. Yeah.
Just okay.
Ah.
Anyway, got that. Chikai
That's-
Bardo. Chikai
that's-
Bardo.
Yeah, but that's their episode. Ye kai mar do. That's their episode.
From today onwards, Below the Habitat shall be known as Woe's Hollow.
Dude, oh my god. Dude, but think about it, okay? Think about it. Imagine if the Severance chip actually did exist. How much comedy clubs would benefit, right?
Oh my God.
These guys
Cisco
come,
Sever
"Baro
enjoy
sale
the
ko!"
show,
Downstairs.
and then just
What is happening? You know, why
Yeah.
are we here? Then they come back, Baro sale ko! Oh my god. It would be the best.
it would be incredible.
I think that's
Absolutely incredible.
that I will pay Lumen whatever it needs if that is an actual thing that can be done. If we can maybe sever the, I would say not violent elements, but just the elements that don't understand basic things.
Like, yeah.
Best,
Like, yeah. Best it would be.
just
Too
the
good.
Ping, that's it. As he said, Tamil Nadu kaise aaye lekin. That's the odd one.
Yeah, that's the oddball.
But yeah, dude, Gemma has suffered more than anyone. That
Dude, she's been through it. My
every-
girl has been through it.
I thought, you know what, to be honest, my thing was towards the end, I thought it was just one multiple journey of innies throughout. I didn't know that each was a different innie.
Really?
That blew my mind. No, I didn't.
Oh,
I thought they were just torturing her in different situations
No,
to make her do
literally-
things that are tough. I didn't know each thing was an innie. And then when I found out that it is the entire idea of Severance is that all your horrible things, all your horrible memories are forgotten. Which also I read I read more on that book, The Death of Ivan Lynch.
yeah.
It's the same thing, right? He in the book basically he there's a death in the family and he wants to avoid the death in the family, so he does something, he kind of avoids the death, and then at the end he realizes that grief is something that you have to live with, you can't ignore it, you can't avoid it, it is a part of your life. It Horrible things make you
Which is
who you
essentially
are.
also one of the themes of the show overall, right? Which is that you cannot compartmentalize your grief to the degree by sort of creating this innie and just being like, I will not deal with it because only bad things will happen if you put yourself in that position.
But okay, now I'm going to be like just devil's advocate. Doesn't it make sense, but if
No.
if you don't have any feelings, if you're a ruthless, heartless person who doesn't care about the innie side, if you don't care, if there is an innie who is handling, for example,
No,
um,
because at the end of the day, that is, dude, literally the measure of sociopathy is the inability to feel any simple kind of like empathy, right? Like, or psychopathic, any basic kind of empathy, right? So essentially, like grief, etc., all of those things, pain, they're all expressions of empathy in many ways for yourself, for the people that you loved. For what is grief if not love, persevering, right? So you take all of that out. You're essentially, your innie has all of your emotions, the other, you're essentially a sociopath.
no, I'm
You're
again,
basically Patrick Bateman.
but I'm not saying for every situation, right? Let's say you can select, like, let's say flights,
Okay.
flights. If you're afraid of flights,
Flights is very different from grief. You're talking about a very grief
I'm
and being afraid of a flight are completely different
I'm
things.
not I'm not covering the entire spectrum of emotions that Gemma goes through. I'm talking about the
Right.
specific emotions, right? So, for example, if I am afraid of flights and I can have a chip that makes me forget that I got onto a flight, got off a flight, wouldn't that be a good thing to have? I'm throwing a hypothetical here. I'm not talking about grief. Grief is one element. I'm talking
I
about
don't know.
all the other emotions.
I feel like missing steps of a journey sometimes can be dangerous in ways that we don't fully understand, right? Like it's all part of it. So I don't know. I don't know.
No, I wholehearted. I'm giving hypotheticals. I wholeheartedly agree. It is, I mean, a basic thing. In If I were to give like the most basic example of stand-up comedy, when you bomb, when you tank, you realize where you're failing and you realize where you need to get better. It's only through failure that comedians are who they are, right?
But
If
again, your innie, your if you don't care about your innie, fine. But now your innie is somebody who just okay. Now let me flip it on you. Say you do that, and your innie decides to hijack a plane.
no, fuck me.
No, say your innie is done essentially, and then does the heli rebellion,
Yeah.
and it's just like I just spend all of my life in these fucking planes. This is bullshit. No way to live. And he starts doing things and like becomes violent and starts acting out towards the crew of the plane. Now, who goes to jail?
That's very interesting. There is no any jail though. I have to physically be in jail. Damn.
Yeah,
Damn, that's a very interesting perspective. It's just like the comedian goes to jail.
the comedian. Whatever happens, the comedian goes to jail.
Yeah, whatever happens,
Whatever
it's
happens,
true.
the
It's
comedian
true.
goes to jail.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. I agree wholeheartedly in the entire perspective of grief and all negative emotions making you who you are. It's a part of your human experience. You learn from negativity more than you learn from positivity. Very interesting twist of events that you brought up because that's a great thing to explore. So far, the innies have only been shown one reality, which, yes,
Yeah,
they do rebel in. But imagine if an innie completely breaks. That would be such an interesting perspective.
right. Yeah, 100%.
Shit, that's very interesting. Damn. Now I want to go.
Yeah,
Now I want to spend time thinking about this for 20-30 minutes.
fantastic.
Just go into hypothetical theories. Okay, okay. But Gemma, saddest person ever.
Yeah,
Her entire
extremely
life filled with pain.
heartbreaking.
This also one of the things that the internet has been losing their
Heartbreaking.
mind over. This episode was also the introduction of Hot Mark.
Yes, yes, it was
it's
indeed.
it's one of those where you're like, okay, I
Happy
get
hot
it.
mark. Happy hot mark.
Yeah, I get
Yes.
it. Now I know why you
Yep,
are.
yep.
I get it. This episode also had a subtle subliminal hint to as to what Cold Harbor actually was. If you are following the theories, basically the crypt that she was building, it was written Cold D Arbor, Cold D Arbor. So it was all everything was
Everything.
planned. Uh, but yeah, man, just what a Gemma
Yeah.
focused episode. You learn more about the levels in the building. You learn about the why are they watching. I don't understand. Why are the doubles monitoring the MDR?
It's not doubles. It's just a different group of people.
Who
It's
look
just a visual
exactly like
choice.
them.
They don't look exactly like them.
Bro,
It
they
just
look
looks slightly like them.
They look like doppelgangers. Irving looks like Irving. Dylan looks like Dylan. Why are they Are they looking like them so that they can think like them? And if the rest of them were not imperative to the operation and Mark was the only person, then why were the rest of them there? Or were they solving MDR? Were they shaking the numbers so that MDR feels that? I still have not heard that question.
That's a fair point then. Well, another unanswered question for
They
season 3.
look the same. It's not like they look exactly the same. It's like me tomorrow trying to monitor, or maybe I'm monitoring what my outie could do, maybe to take us. I don't know, man. It blew. It's just that whole episode. There was no theory that answered it. Everything I went through the internet,
Fair.
there was no theory that answered it. But that episode, I will say for me, is one of the greatest episodes of television ever.
Absolutely incredible. Also answers what those cards are, and that whole this thing about it's actually the ego fighting it, defeating itself,
Jesus
and all of those
Christ.
things. So many little things.
The moment where the fertility clinic blip becomes inside of Gemma's room. So
Yep.
was the fertility clinic there, or was it a Lumen thing? What did they plan this all along? Why Gemma? Why Mark? Again, that's another question that's not answered.
Many
They could have
questions
taken-
left.
They could
Yep.
have taken any woman in the world, right? Why
Yep.
Gemma? Why Mark? What is the logical reasoning of doing any
I
of this?
think that's something we'll find out in season 3.
Or plan this all along throughout the life that you plan from the start till the end, that you're there in their life to fuck around. It perplexes
Yeah, it does boggle
me.
the mind a little bit.
That episode gave answers and yet had so many questions.
Yep.
And I felt so bad for her.
Yes, it was heartbreaking.
It
It
was-
was absolutely heartbreaking.
and Dr. Maur is a creepy guy.
Yeah, of course he's a creep.
I'm 100% sure there is one room where he's done shit to her.
Of course.
And I'm not saying dental or anything. I'm 100%
No, I'm sure
sure.
there's
Something
one, like-
sexual for sure. He looks like a predator, and the way he says it as, like he won't love you and like I do, and there's something so.
Yeah, it's just blah.
Okay, so that was Chikai Bado. We finally understood what the black elevator, where it takes you. I loved her finally running. Comes out,
Yeah.
and now she doesn't know where she Miss Casey.
Yes, exactly.
And he's like, go back.
And then again, you learned immediately to hate Milchik again. Like in that
Yeah.
moment, I was just like, I hate you.
I hate you so much.
I hate you so much.
I hate everything you stand for.
I hate you.
Why are you doing this
You are
job?
the worst.
Just when I thought you were a fun guy, you were organizing offsites and treasure hunts and all that. Why are
And you end up being the worst.
It was actually a proper office offsite, a corporate offsite. Everyone is taken to a new place. They're given place to stay. There's music. There's treasure hunt. There is book
There's-
reading. It was proper HR department as planned it. But yeah, so she gets sent back. Then we have the Cobell episode. Everyone has been shitting
Yes.
on it. It got a low rating. It didn't deserve a low
I
rating.
enjoyed it. Didn't deserve it.
I
Very
am
different.
so
very
sorry.
cool. Filled in so much character. Finally understand Cobell. Finally understand Lumen. That entire scene with her and her sister. She's so good.
And again,
Like-
perplexing moments like
Of
her
course.
putting her mother's pipe in her mouth,
Yeah.
and then
Just.
as we laughed also on I remember when we met, we were laughing at the guy going, you want to get high?
Want to get high? Just.
At the very Towley from South Park moment, want to get high?
Yeah.
And then she
Like-
gets high.
And then she gets high. It was great. It's high, and then that immediately changes her character, which is great. And then that tell me everything moment, and the biggest twist, which is that Severance
it.
was her idea.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah. I knew.
And again, great, like this thing about also sort of for me fills in the fact that it was pretty sure like Kier had like child brides, which is why they even previous episodes talk about half the height of a normal woman, etc. Pretty sure Kier had some weird shit going on.
As culty as it gets.
As culty as it gets, we even have that sickening moment in episode 9 where Cobell drives Devon in and she's like, she's one of James.
Yeah.
and which just implies that there's all sorts
Bro,
of
there's
like
a child birthing room. That do you understand that there is a separate room in which you can forget childbirthing, and that is not the entire process of
Proper
childbirthing.
that Diddy Egan.
Yeah, the O in OND stands for oil. You know, it's just oil
Oil
and
and Diddy.
development. Yeah, oil and Diddy.
Oil and Diddy. Oil and Diddy. Like that's what it is. And yeah, our aunt trying to burn the drawings, and then all of that happens,
I'm
and
just
then that
sitting.
leads
I was
us.
sitting. I'm like, don't do it. Don't. I know she's going to grab it. I know she's going to grab it. Sissy's going to grab it. Don't do it. And then she grabbed it. And she's like, "Hट मारा चौथ."
Yeah,
पागल है
I was
क्या?
just hut.
पागल है क्या? हट. And then tell me everything.
Just
What
incredible.
an episode. I'm sorry to everybody who
Great
gave it a
episode.
low
Yeah,
rating.
fuck y'all.
Go fuck yourself, okay? Uh, then we have Mark meeting them in the cabin where she.
Again, and also that great moment where he meets Cobell and she's like, "How are you?" And he's like, "Oh my God, so good."
Yeah. He's being that
Oh
sarcastic.
God,
I'm just,
so
I'm just, I mean, I'm
good.
not like I'm escaping or anything. Not like
Yeah,
I'm
it's
doing
just,
anything.
I'm so good right now. Like my life is going so well.
Outie Mark is so snarky. He's
Yeah, it's
so
so snarky.
snarky. He's so
I mean, he's Devin's brother. He doesn't have a choice, all right?
yeah.
But we must talk about the greatest unsung hero of the show, and that is Devin. Devin is the ultimate badass. Like the badassiest badass.
Yeah, she has sprung into action. But where is Ricken? बेचारा book लिख के चला गया.
He's
They,
writing the Lumen version of
yeah,
the book now.
उसको they promised him a different version of the book, and then he's like, fuck it. I guess I don't care what my wife does. I don't care what anyone else does. I'm just gonna quietly work on this
Just
new version of the book.
like just yeah.
How is she married to Ricken? That's a question we asked.
I think
to a
only
lot
in the
of
Gemma
people.
episode, the flashbacks that we get where he seems to be like a bit of a fun guy
Yeah,
with the whole this thing, but I guess maybe his personality changed.
yeah. The You Are. That book
The
is, by the way,
You Are.
available if anybody
Yes,
wants to
it
read
is.
it. Just letting you guys know. You can buy it and you can read it. So yeah. So there's a theory that all Leuven management wear high collars and so do Ricken and Devin. You know, a lot of times I thought that Devin had something to do with it. She seemed very...
No, but Demin, no, she seems fully like quite like she genuinely cries and all, man. Like I'll be very sad if that's the case. Like that'll
if that's
feel
a
like
plot twist, yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
like
I don't know how they will
because
go
even
into
in like the
this.
Gemma episodes, etc., all of that, like it's very like I like the love seems very real.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This was the Devar Feculence episode.
Yes, it was indeed.
This was the episode where we also learned the greatest phrase of all time. Which also brings me, since now we are coming back to Devin and we are talking about Devin, where is Regabi? Chali gayi? Ho gaya uska plan?
Bounce. She bounced. She's like, I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore.
But then what is I'm sure she's like, what is... I have
No,
so
she'll
many
come back in season 3, I assume. Like,
She had those... I don't know if you remember in Guinness World Book of Records, there was a guy who had the eyes that could pop out of the sockets. Right? Yeah, I'm just telling you. She had those permanent shock eyes, where the eyes are going to pop out because Mark is so like just open. Or,
just,
or as Seth has said, Rega bhi ko panvel nikalna tha. So that is the second last episode. Again, if we have missed anything so far in the recap, please let us know because we are going to come to the last episode, the season finale.
Oh my God. Where to even begin with that finale? Where to begin, sir? From literally the first shot, like it just kicks off so spectacularly and then just keeps going. So many scenes, just absolutely iconic. Man, just so many. Like the scene of Milchick sitting Dylan down and then sprinting out of the room. The scene of Helena and James Egan, where she's eating that egg and he's like, I wish you take it raw. Then also in episode 9 we have Irving leaving after like Bert's this thing.
Yeah.
Like, which was very
Irving,
sad.
dude.
Poor Irving, indeed.
Okay. Since we are back to Irving leaving and even Dylan quit.
Yeah, Dylan quit but came back.
Dylan quit but came back. But I laughed at his Christian!
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was just it was
I think it
too
was
funny.
supposed to be like that.
You know what? Can I tell you something? Irving leaving didn't affect me. I
It
like,
affected me a lot.
I like cool.
It
Okay.
affected me a lot. You're just dead inside.
Yeah.
It's the soulless animatron. That's what it is.
My innie cried a lot. My outie is a
My
sociopath.
Inni and
As
Outie were in agreement and they were very sad. Like,
But he's
very,
gonna
very
come
sad.
back. It's not
Of
like
course
they
he's gonna
skipped for
come
it.
back.
They just sent him
Of
off on
course
like
he's
a
gonna
small
come
little
back.
own little
Yeah,
vacation
yeah.
where he can explore,
He's
right?
definitely gonna come back.
Which will also be great because I would love to believe that my favorite thing about world building is that I would love to believe that there's a lumen in every country, right? Like there is an
Oh, of course, there must
India
be.
lumen and an Indian Severance.
No, there must be, right? Because the first episode, that guy is like Italian or whatever, right? From Mark's new team.
Yeah,
He doesn't even speak English. So
yeah,
there's definitely Lumen all over the world.
across the world. So it's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
only I'm 100% sure that this experiment is being conducted in other countries as like Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah,
Cabin in the Woods style, you know, like each
Yeah,
country
exactly.
has its own
Definitely.
game that is being played, and then finally they find out who is what. Okay,
definitely.
so we come back. Irving is gone. Dylan has attempted to quit, but his outie has said no, and that brings us to that beautiful scene with the letter.
And again, yeah, just brilliant. Because first, it's like, first of all, fuck you. And then it turns into, when that first fuck you, I'm like, Dylan, come on. And then the rest of the letter is just brilliant. Where he's like, I'm actually glad that you're there. Like, you're a self-assured badass. I am a bit of a fuck
I wish
up.
I
Like,
could be you.
just so incredible that was. So,
That's
like,
very
tender
Yeah.
and, like, sweet and brilliant. And then, of course, you have them asking him to bring the goat, which is just weird as fuck. You have innie mark, outie mark
Yeah,
conversation.
hey, fuck. Sorry, we've not even covered the. We've not mammalians nurturable. We have not
Yes.
covered the entire goat room.
Yes.
We have not covered that happened in that episode, in the previous
Yes,
episodes.
and then-
the entire room of goats with Gwendolyn
Yes.
Christie. We've. What the fuck?
That's the thing,
what
right?
the fuck?
He has a name. His name is Emil, and he thanks you.
Yeah, but what the?
Yeah, that's what. Amazing. So amazing. And that shot of that goat in the trolley. Oh my God, the baby goat in the trolley. Such a great shot. Like, just absolutely incredible. And then there's that, yeah, the entire innie mark, outie mark conversation. This episode just has so many of these guys acting against themselves, and it's so brilliantly done.
It was the most. To
That scene was like peak acting.
Every-
Peak acting.
peak acting, dude. The
Just
facial reactions, the
incredible.
cues, the frustration with yourself.
And just that moment where you know he's blown it when he says Helene, and you're just like, no, what have you done?
Yeah.
No, what have you done? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just, and when he's all like condescending, like, oh, it's nice that you got to have that, but come on.
I also have a
Let's
life.
not
I
fail.
also want
Yeah,
love.
yeah.
I also want this. I have demands that I am not
Just-
going to listen to you. Go fuck yourself. I'm not going to kill myself for
Just
you.
amazing.
Even though I am. And as Rhiannon said, face acting.
Great,
So-
great conversation.
Yeah, Seth,
Too good.
Seth, same question. Why check the belly? Again, we are
And
back
then-
to quotes. So
what?
many unanswered questions.
Uh-huh.
Why check the belly?
I don't know. Must be some weird cult thing.
No logic. I think there were a lot of just throwaways to distract you from what was actually happening. That is what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the goats being used for sacrifice is just. Oh.
No, I think the check the belly thing is again just a way of showing like this idea of like even the first season, it came up that these departments are kept so separate that there's again this almost religious like mistrust among them. Like this is a different tribe, and you know we hear that in those tribes, like the people have horns and things like that. So it feels like for example, even optics and design, there was that suspicion between the departments. So again, it feels like almost like religious superstition, where the people in the goat room were sort of told that the people who come from that other floor must be like
That
no.
happened at the season 1. There was the poster, The Great Rebellion.
That's what,
Where
no?
optics and this thing
Correct.
development head of.
So I feel like the belly check was just a very simple like, okay, they've probably been fed rumors to keep them apart also, right? Where it's like, oh, don't go there because here there are demons, etc. All of that. So yeah.
So yeah, man, that episode, then Mark, I laugh so hard where Mark has limited time. As soon as this happens, he has to run. But he's just standing there awestruck at the entire music performance by Mr.
Also the
Joshi.
painting, dude, when he walks in.
Dude, the
The
painting.
painting. Come on.
Changing every time. When Dylan wants to quit, there is the heads being
Yeah.
cut. When
But then
he
that
walks
painting
in.
of his like completion day, oh my god, what a wild thing! And then yeah, comes that entire oh wait, before we get to the choreography and merriment, is that entire 1-2 between Milchik and the Kier animatronic, where Milchik gives it back to him also. And then he responds with that, okay, Seth. Like, sort of this thing.
That there are I who is making this? I need to know. I don't care. Okay, I don't care about your Severance chip. Fuck you. I don't care about your optics. I don't care about anything. I want to know about optics. I want to know who decided to make an animatronic care, who is making the audio, who is coordinating the audio, who decided to make it like into that spot. भाई स्पॉटलाइट कहाँ से आया किस कौन से वेंडर से
Production
बुलाया
and direction. Two other
yeah
other severed departments.
I need to know
Production and directing.
yeah
That's what they're
where
called.
did production and development
Like
get the
choreography
spotlight
and
from?
merriment, there's production and directing.
When the lights change I'm like ये lights कौन
Yeah.
coordinate कर रहा है कुछ RGB वाला का number है you know it's very again like I said very middle class where
Yeah,
कौन
yeah,
से
fair,
भैया
fair,
को बुलाया
fair. This is why, you are not an Egan. Like, you have all these middle class concerns.
I'm very middle class
100%. Too middle class. Too middle class.
but
And then, yeah, after that, him finally running through. Before that, before the completion of it, you have that beautiful moment between him and Helly, where she's like, "I'll see you at the equator,"
I don't
and at least
understand.
this is a happy memory.
I'm her
Like, huh?
I'm her was what I'm Helly
Yeah.
that you don't have to worry
Like,
that
I'm Helena. No. But that's the thing, that I am her. That basically, that she's like, unfortunately, I am Helena. Like, when she's saying that.
bro the whole dance performance I have gone back again and again and played it on loop.
It's insane.
I am just
Utterly
going to
batshit.
just say it. See, this is the moment where it happens, but Mr. Milchik is the most thirstable man that I
Oh,
have ever
100%.
seen.
100%.
He is so good looking.
He's incredibly hot.
He is so good looking. The way
Incredibly
he dances. Oh my god, his everything about
His
him.
physicality overall in the part, man, is incredible. Like, even after the dancing, when he's locked in the room and he's throwing himself against that vending machine. He's so good. Like, so good.
Yeah, when he's just you can sense that everything is not going according to plan, you know.
Yep.
Like I have to be insulted again and again and again by this. I want to know what he's getting paid or what is his end what is his end goal. What is he getting paid to go through this level of humiliation?
He's been
again and
indoctrinated
again?
since childhood. The same way that Cobell was, the same way that Miss Wang is being, the same way that all of these people at Wintertide and in Svalbard and all these schools, he's literally like a product of like a Lumen Egan childhood. Like, straight up. Like, this Scientology bullshit.
Dude,
Like, just...
that sequence it's stuck. It's not going. And someone said, the physician said, unpopular opinion, it felt like fan service. I don't care. Give me fan service. Give me
It
more
was
of fan
amazing.
service. Give me
Because
10 minutes
I
of
just,
fan
in that
service.
moment, I was like, what is happening? There were so many things I thought would happen in this finale, but this is not one of them. This is crazy.
No, it also
And then
blew
the
my
running,
mind. You're
and then-
hiring, imagine this, you have hired someone literally wrote, and it's so true. There are 40 people whose entire inside life is just band practice.
Yep.
They just
Yep.
have to wake up
That's it.
and go back to sleep.
That is it. 100%.
It's bonkers.
Yep.
Do you
Yep.
think they have an indie comedian who they've not used, who's just literally waiting to come to?
He's the one who wrote the jokes for Kier and Milchik in that amazing routine.
Dude, just how many departments do they have? Where are the departments? How does it entail? Are you planned for every eventuality, every contingency? Do you have you have your music?
Just incredible.
I'm sorry. That was a great physician. By the way, since you mentioned true story, I sat and I've made an edit. I put emotional atyachar. I was going to put it out. I forgot to put it. It's
Nice.
Emotional
That's
atyachar.
amazing.
I'm just going to show you guys. Okay, it's bizarre.
They're
Okay?
going to get copyright struck.
We are not monetized on it.
Okay, fair.
Wait for the lights. Oh, dude, this every song can sync with this dance. Every
That's amazing.
song, his I've
That's
tried so
amazing.
hard to replicate that. I love this man so much. I have seen interviews. He is sexual in interviews.
Yeah, he's amazing.
With Kimmel, he's wearing literally a jute bag.
Yeah.
He's wearing a jute bag. He's just.
Yes,
Sorry,
Sahil.
I can't take it
Yes,
back.
no, that's totally fine.
I
That's totally fine.
His milkshake can bring all my boys to his yard.
100%.
I will be there. I
100%.
will be there. Okay, so we've covered that. Mr. Drummond was just a hulking beast.
Hulking Beast, that fight with him and Mark and like Brienne,
Dude,
and that
the
whole
way-
thing.
I love fight scenes in which you have the. I think it properly started. I don't know. Maybe I may be wrong, but I think it properly started with Avengers, right? Where the brute just grabs someone who's thinner and lighter and just flings him around like nothing
Yeah,
exists.
just throws him around.
Like in D&D also, it was there in the D&D movie where
Yeah,
the old guy
yeah.
just smacks her
Just-
like that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Mark was smacked.
He was indeed smacked.
He
Dude, that
was-
first shot only, before he just goes boom. Like, he just gets him in the face and he's just like, what the fuck just
Thrown.
happened?
Like
Like,
nothing.
just,
But I love.
and then Brienne from the top rope.
There she is. She comes straight, leave him, takes him to
And
the
then
lift.
Emil thanks you.
Emil will be remembered forever. Emil next season will become kebab. I can guarantee you.
Forever
But
and ever.
He'll become kebab. Your
But
outie
he
is
will
a
be
kebab.
remembered forever.
Yeah, but he will be remembered forever.
100%. And then that entire lift sequence where he shoots Drummond. Hilarious.
That's damn funny.
Just hilarious. Too funny. I started laughing so
Someone
loudly.
Someone actually spliced it. Someone actually spliced Outie Mark's memories or Ini Mark's memories. Ini Mark's memories are inside the lift holding the thing to Drummond. And
Yeah.
then when they cut it to the future, he's kissing Gemma. So that's such a
Like, that's
jump.
literally,
like,
yeah,
bing, bing,
massive
and
jump.
then he's kissing it like, what the
What the fuck just happened here?
Him rescuing Emma, love it. I laugh so hard at the scene where he doesn't know what to do with the gun.
Yeah, with her, he's like, and she's like, fuck you, and he's like, and he's like, fuck you. And even that scene where she's like, it's the spouse. It's the fucking spouse.
And she's running. There's no logic to it. Oh, that
So good.
it was beautifully well organized chaos. It takes.
And also just the fact that like Mr. Drummond's legs also serve the plot duty of keeping the elevator there.
Yeah.
And then they just like pop his knees out, like they just fold his legs and run away. Like,
Also, I am going to give a not controversial. My opinion is I don't think Cold Harbor was. It was quite sad.
no, I think Cold Harbor was pretty cool. Just the idea that the barriers held, right? I am actually at this point still not certain who Cold Harbor was for. Was it for her or was it for him? Because the barriers held in both the barriers did not hold, but his barriers held. Thing is, his barrier held. Hers did not, but his barrier actually held. And then he did that, and then again, at the end, the barrier holds
Yeah.
while he's inside.
I get it. I genuinely thought it would be a near-death experience.
Okay?
That is the ultimate thing that you want to sever from, right?
Yeah.
Not breaking down a cot. I get it. The childbirth was a very traumatic experience for Gemma, and to see Gemma break down a cot like nothing ever happened is a very important thing. But that can't be the finality of the chip, because I'm sure there would be other experiences. Or what is it? Is it the biggest grief you can ever have of losing
I
a
feel
child?
like that's something we'll get an answer to in season 3, like in the sense. I don't think like everything has been answered just yet.
Yeah. And as
Right.
Janvi said, how does Gemma trust him so quickly? I think Gemma just got tired.
That's what I'm saying. Also, no, I don't think her barriers held. That's why he said, oh fuck. No, because technically the test failed. The efficacy test failed. Because also when we get that one normal moment from James Egan where he's like, fuck.
Yeah. I genuinely thought she wouldn't trust him, but she kind of did. And then,
And that's when they went with the more heartbreaking ending
yeah.
where she does trust him. And then he does get her to the door. And then it becomes the story of Orpheus. But this time he is left back there. And she goes, and Heli does meet him at the equator. And which is why when we were talking about the first shot of the show and the last shot of season 2, in the first shot, Mark is running down the corridor on his own. But it's all twists and turns and twists and turns, and he has no idea where he is, and he's unsure, and he's going through 1 million corridors. And the last shot is he's got Helly's hand,
And he's
and
smiling.
he's running, and
Like,
he's
it's
smiling,
okay.
but no, and he's running dead straight.
Yeah.
Like that corridor that they run through is dead straight. There's no lefts, rights, there's no nothing. It is a dead straight corridor. Like almost like he has found like the perfect path. Like through it.
The lighting in that sequence, the flashing red lights as
Incredible.
they pass by,
Incredible.
and Gemma just screaming, Mark, screaming. And by the way, again, every single thing has been foreshadowed. Everything. I'm not even saying in the. Forget the credits. The credits, though, are a different conversation altogether. Everything that happened in the show. There's a scene where Mark is sitting and there's a Irving mug in which there are tiny little trumpets.
Yeah.
They predicted all of the. Not predicted. It was subtly put over there.
Foreshadowed.
Foreshadowed, yes. But the sequence of Gemma screaming, Mark, 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 and him just
Heartbreaking.
running. And I'm like,
And then they again go back to that film grainy, retro-y vibe. And then there's almost that graduate type ending where there's like uncertainty,
yeah.
but also like, is it the right choice or what? Where will this go from here?
There's a.
Just-
For anyone who is interested, by the way, there is a beautiful little Ben Stiller explaining everything with regards to Severance, along with the director, talking about on YouTube about why they wanted to. Yes, exactly. Taking inspiration from, like you said, The Graduate, Stanley Kubrick, Space Odyssey. The whole idea was to pay homage to films of the 80s, okay, French New Wave cinema and all of that. So that's how it ends. It ends. He's run off. But where? And my question to you is, what do you think will happen now?
Multiple things. I think we can look at an any rebellion straight up. You can have a straight up any rebellion in season 3. I think Milchik will turn further towards.
Milchik is going to be on their side.
He's 100% going to be on their side because like much bad things have happened, or they'll fire him also, like Defense Against the Dark Arts. And now he and Cobell and everybody will be on the outside with Gemma, while Helly, Dylan, this thing, Irving has to come back, like all of those things.
Or Irving could meet up.
Well,
with
that's the thing,
Gemma,
Roma.
you
They
know,
never
like-
go home, but what might happen in that situation is that obviously their families will wonder where they are, and then they will start showing up at the gates of Lumen. So there's going to be multiple things like possibly going down from here, because now logically, if those they decide not to come home, their family members are going to show up and be like, "What the fuck is going on? Where is my outie who like came in here?"
Was it Helly or Helena in the end when?
I think it was Helly. I think it's one of those things where people are like really like overthinking it and possibly left open. But I think it was Helly.
I think it's Helena.
I think it's Helly.
Why include that expression? Why include that one shot
Because
of that expression?
I think that
Why?
that expression, people are like really overthinking that expression. It doesn't feel like, I'm
Why?
pretty sure it's Helly. It doesn't feel like I don't think it's an evil like expression. Like it feels very much like it was Helly, dude. I'm pretty sure it was Helly.
An evil expression is too evil. It's like the
Oh.
an evil expression means that Gemma knows it's Helena, right? Gemma
I'm
will
gonna-
figure things out. Helena eventually does go out, right? She goes into the real world. She can
Yeah,
be
she will. But
targeted.
that's what I'm saying. I think it's Helly. Also, just the way she runs with him. Like, I think it's Helly.
I'd like to believe it wasn't. And by the way, whoever's saying they confirm, don't. Please. I think we've learned more than enough that you shouldn't trust people, especially the actors. Dude, by the way, Severance, it was leaked that the final episode was going to be 75 minutes. On Apple TV, it was shown as 45 minutes.
Amazing.
And a day before, they changed it to 75 minutes. So please, don't go with the confirmation of actors, okay? Anything can be possible. What are your predictions for season 3? You said Ini Rebellion, Irving coming back. I think Cold Harbor is completed. So unless they start
Cold
a
Harbor is
brand new
completed,
file.
but also, what is the main this thing with what did he mean by the world will see you and you will see the world and all of those things? Like, what is their plan?
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant for sure, but I think now like a take Lumen down finally has to happen. But I feel like this show has maximum 2 more seasons in it.
No, maximum 1.
I don't know. I think 2 could happen.
2 would be pushing it. You've already more or less wrapped up the story. It could have wrapped up on a very simple but unambiguous end. Now it's kind of pushing. See, whatever each character's sort of goals slash motivations were there happened. The questions that we had, the burning questions, have been answered. People who wanted revenge got their revenge. People who wanted whatever they wanted have got it. It can't go on for 2 more seasons. Now it's all about bringing Lumen down. Whether it's from the inside where they are trapped as well as the outside.
I want 2 more seasons.
एक से मैं बात करता हूँ. Hello Ben.
I want 2 more seasons.
हाँ, Ben.
Alright, I don't care.
हाँ बोला Ben.
I want 2 more seasons.
हाँ, दो
What are
और
your
season
predictions?
बता.
What are your predictions?
My predictions are as simple as that. They ran in this stupid little. It was so stupid, but they are gonna get fucked. Mr. Milchick is going to get fired. Okay, Mr. Milchick is going to get fired. Him and Cobell are going to team up like a odd couple, you know, like we hate each other but we are together for a good this thing. Mark and Helly, something is going to go down between them. It's like it's the same. It's very weird. Okay, very weird. Like imagine you run away into ambiguity and then 1 month later you're like, "Maza nahi aa raha na."
Like, yeah, well, shit.
Shit.
Now what?
I should have gone. Fuck. You know,
Should
like,
have left.
should have left when I had the chance. You know, like how do I break up now? Now I've made my decision.
Yep.
Yeah, those. Dylan is obviously going to be in. Dylan will say, "Fuck you, Mr. Milchick." That has to be now a running gag. Otherwise, there is
Yes.
no point. And yeah, I think all the departments are going to come. Hell is going to break loose. All the different departments are going to come together, fight. But the outside is going to be way more stronger because they have way more knowledge.
Yeah.
Unless Cobell learns to like properly disable.
But
so
yeah,
it's kind of
but there's Cobell, there's Devon, there's people with info on the outside as well now. So
with Regabi and everyone.
with Regabi and everyone whoever Irving was talking to. So lots to do.
Lots to do. So yeah, I mean, I've been trying to fill the void in my life ever since.
I'm not even going to. I'm like, I just accept that. No.
There was
just
a point
accept.
of time where Reddit was only showing only Severance theories, and I'm like, bus, that's it. This.
Now I'm putting all the theorizing into cold storage for a year at least. So I don't overthink it. And now I just want to wait for season 3.
Season 3.
And I hope it doesn't take 3 years.
It's gonna take time.
I hope it doesn't take 3 years though. That would be nice.
But like again, biggest. I know no one is gonna like. Obviously, they don't watch it personally. But Ben Stiller is. I don't know what to say.
Actually, you know what? Ben Stiller gets a lot of credit for being the director, but Dan Erickson for creating
for
it,
writing
right?
something like this.
Dan
Yes.
Erickson for creating it, just for creating this concept and then going with it. So, man, Dan Erickson, Ben Stiller, everybody involved with the show, Jessica Lee Gagne, who's also the cinematographer on the show, just everybody, Theodore Shapiro, who does the music, absolutely incredible. Whoever
And
the
set
production
design.
designers
Whoever's
are,
the production design, man. The
and of
set.
course that incredible cast, like just every single one, no false notes. So happy.
What was that? That favorite, the Dylan's, most of Dylan's lines were my favorite of all. He dumb.
He dumb.
The fuck?
He a fuck up.
Huh? So yeah, and set designers. I would just like to say that it has been a joy watching this show.
100%.
It has been so long since
Peak TV.
Yeah, since I've waited. Oh, it's Friday. Let's go.
Peak fucking TV.
It has been
Straight up.
so long.
I think for the first time since Lost, where it's like, or Game of Thrones, where it's like get
Yeah.
up and watch it first thing without like hearing anything from anyone.
No, and it's an event.
Full event.
Okay. Maybe it's not that huge a show as Game of Thrones. Maybe not
I don't give a
every
shit.
single person has seen it. No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying where you meet up and you're like, you saw what? Kya hua? What do you think? Pata na? Let's
And then just discuss.
Let's- It's been so long since I've had a show that makes me want to sit down with someone for like 3-4 hours and be like, hey,
Yes.
I just want to talk to you about this for a second.
Yes.
What happened? Can we talk? I have theories, I have thoughts, I have options. I went crazy towards the last few episodes. Every frame in Cobell's house, I've paused. Goats.
Yes.
What is the symbology of goats? Okay, we have sacrifice. Okay, sacrifice. Apart from that, what else? What else can we go into? What more can we read into? Goats, rams, mountains. What more? It's just
amazing. Chagai.
Just chagai.
Chagai.
We will.
Chagai.
Do you have anything to add? I think we've done a very good breakdown of everything that we've
No, I
seen.
think that's about it. Just what a delight to
I'm
watch a show
happy.
like this.
I'm happy the show
And I
exists.
cannot wait for another season. Just 10 on 10, no notes.
Do you
No
have
notes.
any recommendations for people who want to fill the Severance void in their life?
The Matrix, Office Space, I guess.
I'd say,
Those would be the two.
yeah.
They cloned Tyrone. Very different, but they
I've
cloned
not seen that
Tyrone on
movie.
Netflix. It's on Netflix. Check it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that there are two. There's a book called Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, which
Mhm.
fills the void, and there's a game called Control.
Yeah, okay, fair.
If you've not played Control, have you?
I played Control. I
Ah,
played
Control is
Yeah.
exactly Lumen, a mysterious
fair.
organization with
Yeah.
mysterious rooms doing mysterious things, and yeah, just in general, that's it. I feel like going back and watching more videos, more theories,
Yes.
blowing my
Yes.
mind.
Same.
And Stanley Parable, yes,
And
great
Stanley
game.
Parable. Okay.
Great game when you come to think about it. In terms of the vagueness of the office, liminal spaces. That's another one that's very similar.
Got
But
it.
yeah, that's it. Do you have any final thoughts or opinions? I think we've covered everything.
Nothing.
Nah.
All covered. All done.
We've covered
All-
everything. We've lusted over everybody. We've run hot mark, but Mr. Milkshake forever. Milkshake forever.
Forever.
And yeah, that's it. Do you have
That is
any
it.
announcements to give?
Not this week, no. I will see Pune people on the 5th of April at the Pune Comedy Festival. And
Sweet.
other cities of the tour are being planned and should be announced in the next week or so.
Amazing. Alicia, to answer your question, no, I'm not in Chennai on 19th. I'm actually doing Thane on 13th May and a big show in Bangalore on the 10th of May. So yeah, that's about it.
May or April? May.
May. So
Okay,
13th
okay,
April is
cool.
Thane and 10th May is Bangalore. That's it. Very simple.
Okay.
And
13th April or May? You said 10th May for Thane also.
No, I
You said Thane also May.
I'll put the ticket links, but 13th
Okay.
April is Thane. And
He did
10th
say May, right? For
I-
Thane also.
Your
I'm not
your
insane.
outie has lost
No.
it.
You said May at first. That's why I wanted to correct you.
Okay,
So
so-
April Thane and May is.
Bangalore.
Got it. Okay.
And you are 5th April Pune.
yes.
And more cities to be added later.
yes.
Done.
Yes.
That is it. And oh yeah, sorry, 12th April. If anyone's in Mumbai, Rohan and I are at Comic
Oh
Con.
yeah, we're at Comic Con. Correct. We are at
At Comic Con, which will end our journey with this year's Comic Cons.
Yes.
Which our innies have thoroughly enjoyed and our outies have already enjoyed.
Yes, indeed.
We will enjoy all shows equally because, as we said, the work is mysterious but important. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching this episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back with another episode. I think we have a bunch of stuff to cover. Eventually,
Yes,
we
indeed.
have White Lotus, Adolescence, and a few movies to cover.
Yes,
So
yes.
hopefully we'll be back soon to talk about that. Till then, thank you so much, guys. Good night. And see you all very, very soon. Let me do bye-bye on here.